everybody, the day is May 19th, 2024, and I am on a RTD G line train going from Union Station to Wheat Ridge Ward Station in Arvada. Also over there is a Union Pacific train with a C-44 ACM rebuild. But even rebuilt, GE locomotives are still Alcos at heart. Which probably also means that GE locomotives are steam locomotives in disguise, since Alco used to build steam locomotives and GE used to work with Alco to build diesels. In addition to the Union Pacific North Yard, there's also an intermodal yard here, likely used for mostly BNSF trains.
This is the Clear Creek Federal Station. Please do not lock the doors and kindly move to the center of the train to make room for boarding passengers.
To me, this tanker train wasn't exactly very special to me, until I saw the buffer car, which was a grain car with the CP Rail Pac-Man logo.
Please do not lock the doors and kindly move to the center of the train to make room for boarding passengers.
We then pass another tanker train with another C-44 ACM leading and an AC-4400 CW that'll likely become that C-44 ACM in the future, albeit with Union Pacific's newer livery rather than the flag in the wings. After getting off at Wheat Ridge Ward and taking an Uber, we are now at the Colorado Railroad Museum. You may recognize it as the place Heist works at, but I recognize it as the place where a lot of Colorado's railroad history is here in one place. And right there, Rio Grande Southern 20 is pulling the passenger trains for Colorado crossings. Here is an old steam locomotive from the Pikes Peak Cog Railway near Colorado Springs. And of course, the outdoor G-scale model layout. And as it turns out, even at the Colorado Railroad Museum, I am also getting Brampton cursed there too. The crown jewel of the Colorado Railroad Museum, which once belonged to Rio Grande 346, is now Rio Grande 491, a K37. These K37 locomotives were rebuilt in the Rio Grande Zone Burnham shops from C41 consolidations. The Rio Grande used old boilers from the C41s and basically rebuilt them into narrow gauge engines, and they also used some tenders and other components from the C41s to use for the K37s. I hope I am getting that correctly so that Heist does not come after me. There is also other Rio Grande equipment, like Rio Grande 318, another consolidation known as a C18. This here is a SD40T-2 tunnel motor. These tunnel motors had huge grills at the rear so that fresh air could be pumped into the engines so that the engines wouldn't die in the locomotives. Also here is Big Al from the D&S, as well as some Galloping goose cars. The RGS, for a lot of its life, was incredibly broke, and so to afford real J's, they built these Galloping geese cars. The Galloping geese cars helped the Rio Grande stay financially afloat until they lost the mail contract and the RGS was abandoned. I'm sure that is the water injector.
That sound comes from there.
One thing to note about the 491 is its front pilot rod. I forgot what it's called, but one thing to know about the 491's front is that it's more reminiscent of its K36 cousins rather than its K37 brethren. If anyone can explain me the reasoning for that, please tell me and I'll pin you. There's also an entire thought that the K37s were completely converted from standard gauge to narrow gauge, and that is not entirely true, especially if you looked at the builder's plate for any of the K37s, for which 8 are still around.
Rebuilt by D&RGW Burnham Shop, August 1928. So the conversion rumor is complete bull.
I bet if you were an engineer, all you would do right here is just swirl the whistle. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would do if I was
I'm kind of confused, like, you know the daylight and the Rio Grande F3?
Yeah, so would
They
I.
both have air horns.
Yeah.
Why
So a lot of the steam locomotives had air horns because for whatever reason, if you have the air horn at the front of the locomotive and you blow it when you're going 90 miles an hour, you can hear it a lot better from a distance.
I thought you blew it only to like clear the fog out of the way.
Udo,
No, and it cut through the fog better. So like on the daylight and stuff where they ran it.
Udo, you can get it.
I wonder if they ever like blew the whistle and the horn at the same time.
That's a good question.
I can just only imagine what the reaction of the people here would be like if they saw daylight here.
This one's fun to run. I like 22.
Honestly, I want to know what it's like to run if it's 191.
It's a lot of work.
It gets hot.
It's very hot.
I would upgrade it with AC.
Yeah, the faster you go, the better the air conditioning is.
The outside's AC.
Yes.
So is that why you guys kind of go faster up there?
Well, that's a 4% grade, so that's the steepest part of the route.
I went into the cab of the 491.
So would the what part of the water glass would be the bottom?
So this is the bottom of the water glass.
And
Still about 3 inches above the crown sheet. So when you're going down,
so if it reaches that level, that's the crown sheet?
no. So once the water drops out of the glass, you've still got about this much before you're in the crown sheet.
You don't want to risk it, but yeah.
So like when you're going downhill, the water usually sits right at about the bottom and it'll kind of bounce in and out. If it doesn't bounce on you, kind of know you need water. So
That honestly does kind of sound scary. But
So in those round parts that are on each side of the tender, that's the tank. So the tank goes all the way back and around, and that holds 6,000 gallons of water. Yeah. And I've been in there, and it's like you can walk around inside it. It's
Yeah, we even have a little dip stick.
oh, you want to go out?
I'll let you go here. We're going to go that way.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, they'd watch over the train. If there was a problem, they'd plug it.
Although
or put it in
this
timer.
time I didn't really bother wanting to pull the whistle, unlike last time. I just mostly felt proud of that, and
They have
I didn't really feel like doing it again this time around.
Stops it.
Hey, does that lever right there open the firebox?
It does, yes. It's very hot though. I don't want to open it right now.
Yeah, I can tell. I can feel the heat.
Yeah. Last thing I want is more heated.
And not to mention there are holes in the door.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of does show a bit of what the fire is inside.
Yep. Here, Tim. I'm gonna go make sure the doghouse got locked.
Okay. Wait, should be locked.
Not locked. Closed. Because it was open.
Cascade can't stop the water. You know, I looked in it, Leo. It's actually really clean inside, but I filled it up from that, so. Yeah, the shop well water might kill me if.
Here's a rotary snowplow from the Colorado and Southern. The CNS also had lines that went through the Rocky Mountains, and a lot of them necessitated rotary snowplows. But by the 60s, a lot of those lines were abandoned, and the snowplows weren't really of much use. Also, here's the Delhi Wigwag, and I do not think this little wigwag needs an introduction.
Nice to see you again. This here presses a button which turns it on. Neat.
At least I know where that train scene from Cars may have taken inspiration from. Here's a sign for the Rio Grande Zephyr. It was the last privately operated passenger train in America until Brightline came into existence in 2018. We are now going to ride behind RGS-20 in a ride that'll take about 9 minutes around the museum and loop around the museum 3 times. Although for a bit of time I struggled to figure out which coach I should have sat in.
We'll take him to listen mics, and then we'll go down that area.
Ow.
We're doing medium. Okay. Yeah, they said take our time.
I eventually settled for the second coach because the seats in the first coach were uncomfortable.
Outside the train, you pull out, the whistle, and when you have others.
This is Rio Grande Jeep 3011, as well as CB&Q 5629. They ding-dong ditched 5629, by the way.
Well, it's not really that loud, depending on how you see it.
As we take a ride around the museum, we see some other equipment like some Union Pacific passenger cars, as well as Rio Grande Southern number 20. Here are two ex-West Side Lumber Company shays, number 14 and number 12. These two shays also at one point used to work on the Georgetown Loop Railroad that's a little further into the mountains. Between this coach and another gondola is a gondola that would often seat passengers. During this trip, though, the gondola was not being used on the passenger trains. There's also more equipment from the Rio Grande. We'll see them up close in a little bit. you see at the museum entrance was originally from a crossing along Highway 287, which was on a branch line. However, somewhere in, I believe, the 80s or 90s, that wigwag was replaced with standard traffic light signals. Boring. But at least that wigwag is here at this museum. We have now completed one of the 3 loops and are headed into our second loop around the museum.
Hey!
This museum also has a collection of refrigerator cars. Original refrigerator cars used to have massive blocks of ice placed inside the cars so that the cars could be insulated and keep any perishables inside cool. However, with refrigerator cars that had diesel generators, those ice blocks and ice block facilities became obsolete, and the original refrigerator cars have since been retired. However, not with a couple being sent to museums.
Yeah, it does that 3 times usually. Ow, ow. I think that's just one of the cinders.
locomotive over there is 683, and we'll learn about this one in a little bit. You too. There's the Northern. Locomotive 30, narrow gauge class 74. Neat. This here is a business card that was once operated by the Rio Grande.
Very ornate, isn't it? Well suited for business travelers.
No kidding. Although, were these...
Say that again?
Was this like where like the conductor would be?
This is actually the kitchen. This
Oh,
is
the
where
kitchen.
kitchen staff would cook up meals for business passengers.
So business class passengers as in like train executives?
Something like
Railroad
that. And
executives.
business people who run businesses here in Colorado. I imagine rich people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk would have ridden in cars like this if they were on business trips here in Colorado.
Yeah. Elon Musk doo-doo poo-poo. Fascinating car.
Yeah, very versatile too. It started out as a Maryland baggage cart, then it was refitted as a business cart. And at one point it served as a photographer's darkroom during his photography trips.
Nice. Here is Rio Grande 5771, which operated both freight and passenger trains in regular service. The Rio Grande had just 8 F units, 4 A units, and 4 B units. An A unit and a B unit survive here, one of them which is 5771, which you are looking at right now. Behind 5771 is F9B number 5762. There's also a parked baggage, parked passenger coach behind the two F9s that once used to work on trains such as the Royal Gorge, the California Zephyr, and many other trains that the Rio Grande offered. It also at one point worked on the ski train. This coach behind the Rio Grande stock, though, isn't from the Rio Grande, it's from the Santa Fe. The Santa Fe operated in southeastern Colorado, and it also had a branch from La Junta to Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and Denver. Over here is a caboose from the Denver and Salt Lake Railway. The D&SL succeeded the Denver, Northwestern, and Pacific, attempting to build a direct line from Denver to Salt Lake City. It also operated a really hazardous line over Rollins Pass, which would eventually be abandoned in favor of the Moffat Tunnel. Sadly, because of the Rio Grande's finances being up shit's creek by the time they dieselized, no D&SL engines remain today. Here is a engine that does remain today, a switcher from the Union Pacific. Tender engines don't shut. We're now gonna head back to the 491 and watch it get on the turntable and turn around for the freight charter. I of course mean that the turntable is going to be pushed by people. And people are going to push the 491 while it's on the turntable.
some help?
If you can't tell, it's a really difficult job to push a steam locomotive on a turntable. That is why in later years, turntables went from being powered by manpower to being powered by steam, and later being powered by electricity. While you'd see a lot of turntables in railroad museums these days, there are still plenty of turntables in use on the modern railroads, mainly to store engines.
That looks like a little more than 6 inches.
Blame it all on this turkey is the hardest one.
Does it help in the morning to balance one way? You have to balance this different way after you've got all the water out of it.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Tell everyone you can do it with 3, maybe even 2 people.
I've done it by myself before.
You what?
I've done this one by myself. It's not that fun.
And it has to be balanced very well.
At least that would be good exercise.
Here's one more shot of Rio Grande Southern 20 on its last run of the day. This locomotive right here is Rio Grande 683. It was originally built for the Rio Grande when the Rio Grande standard gauged its line from Denver to Salt Lake City. Through a bit of luck, the 683 survived when all the other standard gauge steamers got scrapped, mainly because of the Rio Grande's financial issues. And today, it is the only survivor of the Rio Grande standard gauge steam. And here's some more model trains, because why not? I did not grow up.
I don't think there's a Thomas one in here right now.
Oh, gotcha. We will see if we can have it.
Oh yeah, that's the big guy.
You know, this engine was my favorite to climb over as a kid. And I would try and play Runaway Train with the coupling and how I acted. Like I was trying to stop a runaway train. Okay, I lied about earlier. I didn't know at the time. There's a Thomas. Okay, that part was making fun of Chris Eden Green because there were a couple of times where he called Thomas a little blue embarrassment, though this is because of a lot of the bad side of the Thomas community. In reality, Chris is, for the most part, chill with at least the first 4 seasons of Thomas. Also, in hindsight, that was a bit of a bad assumption that I made on my part. Anyways, let's just move past that and look at some more model trains.
You know? That's my friend's bear.
Nice.
Trying to figure out where he is. Oh, there he is. He's over there. Carter, it's coming back. Does this one have the whistle or no?
No, just this one.
Okay. Hey, Ryder. Cow. This nice man gave you the control. Thank you so much. No problem. Hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you. Oh, Terry. Nice to meet you. What's your name? They're members of this. You like this?
Is there like a basis for that engine?
Well, so it started out as a Bachmann consolidation.
Bachmann consolidation?
Yeah, then the 280, and then I built a new superstructure on top of it.
Oh.
Is it okay if I go after him?
Yes. You blew the train whistle, bud. Sorry.
And then maybe we can take turns, right? Yes. Wait, how heavy is it?
Hey, I think 491 is coming behind you guys. Never mind, I think it stopped. Oh wait, why are you guys going back?
With the coaches now detached from 20, it's now time for 20 to head back into the roundhouse.
By the time they get that cloud will go away and you're in the Steve Barry was writing on Facebook this morning pictures because he let his camera get soaking wet like Steve Barry does, and all of a sudden his lens fogged up. And he shoot anything with it. He ended up having to shoot all the rest of the day with a cell phone. Pretty big cab. Yeah. I mean, the back head on that boiler is like a mountain. Yep. The good thing about it is it's not like it's climb getting up there. It's not like climbing into 140 winter line. If a Florida engine, that was a climb. Yeah.
But it's a long fall. You know Bill's. There's a lot of narrow gauge stuff. He was on. He was a cab rider. Yeah, that's okay. Let's go all the way back. No, I don't know that
Rocky Mountain what?
When they hit it, it might send him a little bit of a tumble.
Yeah. The 491 has now coupled up to a couple of freight cars, which it will use to pull a freight charter that will go around the museum a couple of times so that people can get photos and video of said train. Fresh whiff of coal smoke. That's what I like.
That might be a good spot.
By this point, I thought those people over there, which I believe are from the Rocky Mountain Rail Club, were just people who were simply just going on the tracks because maybe the museum let people like go into some of the tracks that people would normally not be allowed to just for once, which was not the best assumption for me to make.
Alright. Let's see what we can do over here. Get over here when we're not going to bother anybody.
I am going to get lung cancer. Well, we rolling?
Brian? On the other side? Okay.
Eventually, somebody who I presumed to have been the group's leader busted me, and I got back to safe ground. Neat. These photos here, to me, look like something that you'd get straight from the narrow gauge circle in the 30s. Doubler 918 butt. Enjoying your book? Damn, didn't respond. I'm not really in the mood to bother him about. That loop, though, would unfortunately be the last loop that they'd make. For the day, anyways. And with that, my time at the Colorado Railroad Museum's Colorado Crossings event of 2024 has come to an end. Not long afterwards, I would take my leave from the museum and head back home. You guys have a good day.
Take care.
Except there was still something I wanted to get. This is the Clear Creek Federal Station, and I'm waiting for Amtrak train number 6, the California Zephyr. On the consist is Amtrak locomotive 164. Yes, I've seen 164 quite a couple of times, but who cares? I wanted to get it anyways. I then got on an N-line train to see if I could get something at the BNSF's 34th Street Yard and Shops.
Garden Station. Next stop, Union Station.
And with this train here, this video of the 2024 Colorado Crossings event is officially at an end. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.